Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Natural Nerds. We're a large group of best friends that live all across the country, refuse to let that stop us from doing what we love. As you can see, we're testing. Everybody decided to make their characters. Actually, Daisy or Levy found this awesome program, and yeah, so we're giving it a test run. So apologies for the late start, but this seems like it's going to be the new setup from now on. Once we work out all the kinks. So thank you very much for bearing with us, and let's just hop right into it. We don't have a hell of a lot of time. So that being said, if everybody could roll me 1d6. And down the line we'll go. Flicker, you are not in roll 20, but we'll start off. Levy.
3.
Okay. Pax.
5.
Flicker.
1.
1. Okay. And Calaia, I believe, is still having trouble with the mic, but if you could read off her roll for us. Actually, since she's having trouble with the mic, she shouldn't even do the recap.
Yeah.
It's been a long day. Anyway,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
okay, so Pax, if you don't mind.
Last time on Dragon Ball Z, after arriving at port, and having a few drinks, we slowly figured out that the town is populated by charm people by the upper class that just so happen to be vampires, and the half of the group met said vampires on a night of carousing, and a new card game learned by Captain Flicker and Calaia, some fighting being had in the pit, and I just so happened to go off and spend my night on the ship. And that, as far as I know, is the world so far.
I am muted. Okay, so Pax. You head back to the ship, and it's quiet. You hear the sounds of a whetstone on a blade. As you see Vraska on the deck of the ship, just polishing her weapons and keeping them sharp. Just fixing her clothing, like her general attire, polishing her armor and making it tip top, if you will. And go ahead and take it away.
I just kind of duck my head and try not to be seen. Below deck, I pass by my room, anxiously just wringing my hands the whole time as I'm walking to Ludwin's room. The ship is kind of eerily quiet since I believe everybody is out right now.
Yeah, it is. And yes, they are.
Before getting to Ludwin's room, Pax looks a complete wreck. Just like anxious anxiety written all over his face. And right before he knocks on Ludwin's door, he just wipes his face, and almost as if he's a mask, it just appears on his face, and he just smiles as he knocks. Ludwin, Ludwin, it is Paxxus.
There's no response from the room. And then you just hear chewing behind you. Right? And nobody's home in there.
It would appear to be so, at least for now. I step aside.
Right? What can I do for you?
Well, I appear. It appears that you have already sated your appetite. But there was one thing that I knew that at least set your chops on edge, and I'm going to push into my book.
Oh, okay, all right, okay. I see what we're doing here. And he throws the last bit of whatever he's eating into his mouth and just cracks his knuckles, cracks his neck. Right, let's do it. Opens up the door to his room, and leads you in. And there's that familiar, odd-colored smoke all around the room. And he's like, takes a minute, and then he gets on his knees and starts patting the floor. What is it? What? Come on, where are you? Where are you? Ah, there it is. And he slaps the floor, and you just hear. You kind of watch this white smoke come up from the floor, and the floor opens up, and this table starts to rise. Right, lay down. Shirt, get it off.
Okay, but we're going right into it, aren't we? Okay. Pax puts
Unless
down
you'd
his
like to
book.
take a cold layer. Do you want me to read you a bedtime story first? Maybe you get you a glass of warm milk.
Pax just shoots him a look. He continues to undress, puts his glasses down beside the bench, and gets on.
Right. I'm gonna need steady hands for this. And he pulls out a bag from underneath the table, and then kind of just knocks on the table next to you. You feel the vibration, and the this wood expands, and then you watch as a light comes out from like where your head's rested, just laying above you, and then there's a large magnifying glass sitting, kind of like in a dentist's office or like a operation room, I guess you could say. Um, and yeah, so it expands out, and then you see next to you like all these tools, uh, just like a random hammer for some like it's rusted and probably shouldn't be there, but it is. And just various little strange devices, and one little bag. He lays it on top of this table and then opens it up. The only thing inside it is a large glass bottle. It's completely blacked out with a cork. He pops it open, and you just smell the strong scent of rye. Perfectly aged, just like me. Chugs it back a little bit. All right, let's get to work.
Um, one last thing, Ludwin, before we do get started.
Right.
To my people, what we're about to do is frankly, an abomination of all they hold dear.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And do you know what I feel right now?
He hops up on the table, standing over you, and just like looks into your eyes. Not necessarily a regret, but excitement and sadness and that's about what I'm getting.
All of that wrapped around a big whole sack of nothing. Do you have any more of that thing in that bottle?
Right, I do. For me! And he chugs a bunch back. All right. This is going to hurt, so um, here we go. And he starts pouring some on you and like trying to get it down your throat as best as possible as he's standing over you still.
Well, it all goes through the pores anyway.
Right. It's I'd give you more for the pain, but it'll thin out the blood a little too much. Might cause you to bleed out.
Just get
A
this
large
over
part
with,
of the
Ludwig.
procedure. Right, I won't tell you how I'm going to coagulate your blood then. It's okay. You don't need to know what I'm doing. Okay, here we go. And he straps your arms down and with like this fur-padded leather. So it's pretty comfortable, but very tight against your legs and your arms. All right, my friend. Here we go. And he gets to work. Go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw if you don't mind.
That's a natural 11 plus 5, so it's 16 total.
Okay. You stay conscious for a decent amount of this, and you can watch or you see as he straps like this tube to essentially it's like a IV um, drip and keeping you giving you fluids, but you notice that it's instead of clear, um, it's got like this strange greenish tinge to it, and it's a little thicker. Um, so as you feel that going into you, it's cold through your veins, and he starts kind of tinkering next to you and creating like these several little devices, and then you feel the cold heavy weight of metal against your chest and just pressing down on you. And then you hear sawing and clanking of metal on metal from the hammer, and then you feel it clamp down. And the pain from the pressure causes you to pass out after about a half hour of him just tinkering with your body and these metals. But you managed to stay conscious for most of it. Okay. Um, so, that being said, um, the rest of you, after just finishing your fight in the arena successfully, this blood of thine enemies strewn across the sand, you go into the Challengers Hall, as it's known, and just sit down and take a breather for a moment before you decide you might need to take a walk and not go for a championship tonight. First time in the arena, they were some relatively strong opponents. But this victory has you all in higher spirits. You walk out back into the town and you notice that it's hustle and bustling, and outside of the Challenger's Gate is a small crowd. And as you exit, they all start cheering and going on, and a couple kids come over and ask you to sign some parchment for them.
Yes, of course, little one. And I sign.
Oh, not.
I sign with Laverna in a script.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if I'm much of a hero. I went down, that's for sure. But
Very enjoyable.
I'm sure it was on your part.
Well,
Sure,
you walked out of there. That's better than nothing.
that's very true as well.
At least you're not the man who was eaten by a measly lion.
That is also very true as well. But I can't put it past that I might have been. Was not on my game tonight, that's for sure.
After signing autographs, several children kind of gazing at you guys, starstruck, excited. They you kind of you begin to walk away from them, and you notice that they're kind of all like whispering to each other and almost like trading cards. There, you see two of them change trade parchment. It's like, oh, you got that one, you know. Um, and it leaves like a warm, fuzzy feeling in you. Um, at least I'm going to assume. I'm not going to tell you what you should do. But yeah, you know, you get the excitement. You still have that adrenaline rush from everything. So, and the evening's yours, guys.
I'm going to produce flame and try to singe off whatever blood or grime and dirt is on me.
Does that work for you usually?
Most of the time, yes. I mean, there's nothing like a nice, good old warm bath, which I might visit again.
Yes,
But for now,
see, I was thinking water is probably more sufficient for cleaning.
well, this is more of a sterilization.
Hmm. Well, you're lucky you're
Well, if
unfazed by the
anyone's
fire.
hungry, I paid for quite a few meat pies that we could take back to everyone at the ship or things like that we could grab on our way back or wherever we're going to be for the night.
Yes, let us return to the ship. Check on everyone.
Yeah, so on the way I'll keep an eye for the meat pie vendors so that I can get what I ordered of meat pies to take back to the ship for everybody.
Okay. Simple enough. You pass by him and Roy, how many you want? You want all of them?
If it doesn't run you out for the night, I'd appreciate it.
Oh no, by all means, you pay me more than enough for all of them. So, yeah, sure. Here's 2 dozen. Got a couple left. For any wandering patrons. And honestly, you still got some left over for tomorrow if you wish. But I could always give you change. It's up to you.
I'll hold on to that till tomorrow, just in case. If I don't come back, well, keep it.
All right, thank you. Much obliged. And he hands you over 2 dozen of these little hand pies.
Alrighty. And
Okay.
I'm gonna offer one to Levy and one to Flicker as we walk back.
I take it and I hold it up to my nose and smell it.
It smells to you extremely delicious. Like mouth-watering, kind of reminds you of some of the pastries you had back in the monastery.
Ooh. Well, these bring back memories. Thank you, Calaia. And I...
Not a problem. I say after all that, we definitely deserve it.
Yes, yes. And
Well, I definitely deserve it considering you threw mine into the ring.
without another word, I shovel it into my face hole.
Okay, sorry, I was muted and I was about to talk. So for you specifically, the flaky crust reminds you of your old husband's cooking. The way he used to bake just about every meal with this pastry, fluffy, flaky crust, with just a tinge of sweetness and a tinge of tartness. It's just super sweet, and obviously he had learned that from being in the monastery as well. And the flavor of the pie, like the inside, the meat and jelly gravy, you can call it, reminds you of your old master, the original head of the sanctuary or the monastery. Used to make on like a wooden plank, just simmer meats and vegetables for hours and hours every single day. The most patient person you've ever met, but the food was divine.
Hmm.
Okay. So, simple enough. You get you guys head back to the ship. And you hear tinkering and metal on metal again, similar to blacksmithing coming from inside the ship. And you all see Vraska on deck, polishing and still continuing to clean her wares. She looks up. Not sure what's going on down there, but I'm sure Paxxus will be fine. I wouldn't disturb them.
Excuse me, what?
What?
What is happening with Paxxus?
Something is going on downstairs.
Hmm.
I would assume with Ludwin. But as I said, best probably not to disturb them.
Yes, well, if he's with Ludwin, I don't know whether to worry more or worry less.
He is quite the fellow.
You-
Yes.
That's actually very reasonable. Yeah.
How's everything else fare on the ship?
Nothing to report, Captain. Everything seems
I'm
fine.
going to offer Vraska a meat pie.
Oh, what's this?
One of
It's-
the local vendors sell them. Everybody seems to enjoy them. I bought plenty, figured can't have too much when we go back out there.
Yes, fair enough. It smells quite good. Thank you. And she takes like just a tiny little, like a chipmunk bite at first, and then she hides it very quickly, but there's a subtle like slight blush in her cheeks, and her eyes just like her pupils shrink and widen for a moment, and her eyes widen, just like and then that quickly fades away, and she just starts casually eating it.
I hold up, I'm sure, like 2 full bags of them. Well, there's plenty to go around, and I have more on tab, so don't be afraid to help yourself.
Excellent. Thank you. This is quite good.
But I don't know about a lot of you, but I'm not feeling so hot. Very worse for wear. I think I'm gonna head to my room and take some rest.
A pirate who can't handle a little bit of bruising.
Well, I bruise like a banana.
Yes, I see that.
Perhaps you just haven't spent enough time in the ring.
No, probably most likely not. I've been more of a goer. Not used to combat like that per se, or pillaging than anything.
So what I'm hearing is you picked on those weaker than you.
Not my best moments. I don't like looking back on them either. I'm trying to make a new name for pirates. We're
Well,
not all
that's
bad.
Good. Well, have a nice rest, Captain.
Yes, of course. You're in command while I rest.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone needs me, I will be in my room.
Would you like to take food with you?
Yes, I will. Please take one of those. I head up to my room and nibble on the meat pie and take a much needed rest.
Okay. Simple enough. If there's anything anyone would like to do while the rest is occurring,
I would go downstairs to store the meat pies somewhere in the kitchen.
okay. Simple enough. There's a small wooden crate underneath like the bunch of several like shelves where the cutting boards and knives are, and it has ice in it. Seems to keep things fresher.
Do I hear anything when I'm downstairs?
You hear Ludwin kind of mumbling to himself, and then like a little scream from him every once in a while, and the tinkering. But beyond that, that's about it.
Okay. I'm gonna, if Levi was not concerned about Paxxus too heavily, then I will also retreat to my room as well, taking a meat pie for Finn.
Okay. Simple enough. And Finn dives right in and gobbles it down.
While the captain is resting, I will be up on the deck of the ship, checking everything, securing anything that may need secured for future travels, and making sure everything's in order as much as I can with my limited knowledge of ships.
Okay. Simple enough. Especially with Vraska awake, and she kind of helps, get things in order. But lets you do your thing. overall. You tie down ropes and just kind of give an overall inspection.
Yep.
Okay. So, simple enough. A lot of you can take a long rest.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I would assume, Levy, that when Flicker wakes up, you would go take your rest.
Yes, yes.
So, you all, Flicker and Calaia, you waiting around and just kind of hanging out as Laverna wakes up. And then as she steps out, you all hear, "Right! I've done it! I've done it!" And Ludwin, you just hear the door slam open, and you see him run out into the hallway, and this green and blue and red plume of smoke just follow him. And right, I'm gonna get something to eat. That was a long night. And he just wanders off into the kitchen. And out of that room, you see Paxxus emerge.
I'm going to probably stumble to the opposite wall and steady myself. Coming out looking like absolute death. Now, Pax is pretty pale complexion of green to begin with, but he is gaunt, sallow, probably just shivering up against the wall, going step somewhere.
Are you okay there, Paxxus?
Not today, Levy. Not today. I'm just gonna inch my way.
I let him scurry away. I don't follow.
My goal is my room because I do not feel well.
You need a shoulder to your room.
Thank you, Flicker. What's your passive, Flicker?
Oh, not very high at all. That'd be a 12, sir.
Okay, never mind. Pax just basically wait, and he's just leaning on you. He's still shivering, but he's heavier than you remember him.
I'm putting on a little weight there.
Just last night really did a number on me. That I think there was something in that brew that we had. Thank you, Flicker. I'm just going to and Pax just onto the bed.
Well, there you go. You need anything, you know where we are. And if we decide to leave ship again, we'll let you know.
Please, I just need a few minutes rest.
Yes, of course. Calaia got us some meat pies, so they're in the kitchen. You want me to bring you one, or? And now close his door gently and let him take his rest for sure.
Simple enough. So as you head upstairs, or walking around, the light of day is breaking through the windows and the upper deck, coming down the stairway, and it's about 10 o'clock. It's pretty bright out. Warm, comfortable day.
Is the town still bustling with movement?
Are you going to the deck?
Yeah, I'm going to go to the deck of the ship and just take a look out into the town, see if anything's died down.
Yeah, it's the same as the prior day when you had arrived. There's a couple scattered people walking around, mostly just doing work and pulling boxes and things like that. But for the most part, there isn't really. It's definitely not the nightlife like it was last night.
Levi, are you on deck?
Yes, I did follow behind, walking up to deck. Yes, Captain, I am right here.
Now, are we to liberate the town? I'm not sure what the plan here is exactly.
Well, we still have parts of this
If
mystery
they're,
left
they're
to
being
unfold.
charmed.
Yes, I am. I will be taking a trip to the library to try and get some answers.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yes, you are welcome to come, or whatever it is you would like to do.
Sure, it's been a while since I've seen actual words. I just normally draw pictures and maps and stuff.
Yes. It will be very useful having someone else to help with these researches. Do you remember the symbol that yourself and Calaia saw on that man's ring?
Yes, I believe it was a setting sun of some sort.
Yes, yes. I'm quite curious of that. I saw the same in the alchemist's shop.
Oh, well, yes, we should probably investigate for sure.
Yes.
Yes, I will accompany you to the library.
Okay. Um, yeah. And we will go to the library unless Kaleia's up here.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Calaia, will you be joining them?
Sure, I'll go along. I'm pretty interested about this ring myself.
Okay. So, simple enough. You walk
But
through town
before we
with ease. Oh,
leave ship, I'm going to peek in on Paxxus, and we're going to the library. Um, all of us. So
Why has nobody said any? Or because the library. I want to go to the library. Oh, I'm so cold. Paxus is going to take the blanket from his bed, wrap it around him, and just in a daze, just follow you, just muttering about the library.
Before we head out, can I grab a meat pie for Paxus since he looks out of sorts?
sure. Simple enough.
Just, I don't somewhere between Mr. Aizawa from My Hero Academia and just a man just just out of bed.
Here, Paxxus, perhaps this may give you a bit more energy.
Thank you, Calaia. And something is going to take the meat pie out of your hand. And it's just going to float next to Pax.
Well, if you have enough energy to do that, just don't wander off. We don't want to lose you in this state. It's busy out there right now.
Understood. Is it cold out here? Is it just me?
Pretty sure it's just you.
Okay. Definitely need to stop by a tailor.
I do know
Add
where
that to the list.
we can find one along our way.
Okay. Okay.
If you want, I can make a fire for you. You just have to walk next to me.
That's perfectly fine, Vicar. I'm just going to bundle up my blanket, but I'm pretty sure it's just a little bit more than a sheet. And just thank you.
And I will follow behind to make sure that Paxxus stays on course with everybody.
And just this floating meat pie beside me.
Flicker, perhaps warm the pie up for Paxxus, that way he can eat something warm. Heat from the inside out. Kind of like you, I suppose.
Oh, yes, by all means. Would you like your pie heated up?
Yes.
And reduce flame and try to heat it up without burning it.
Okay, go ahead and give me a wisdom check.
Well, that's a straight roll for that, so... Oh, not bad. That'll be a 15.
Perfect. Yeah, without a second thought, it's simple enough. You just kind of flick your fingers and light underneath and cook it just to the right temperature.
As it was fresh from the butcher himself.
Wow, thanks. I am going to take a satisfying bite.
And satisfying it is. After such a long night and the current light hangover additionally, starts to kind of soak everything up and you get a little bit of energy back, realizing how depleted you really were.
I eat half and then put half away. Thank you both. That was very good. Definitely hit the spot.
By all means, we have to have you in top shape, don't we?
I will be fine after a few hours sleep, but I'm more interested in seeing what the library has to hold. And the tailor, did I say that?
Yes. Right this way. I did find some fabric for Madame Duval. Right over here. And I lead him to the shop that I got the fabric at.
Okay. So, head inside. And it's dim lighted, like every other place you walk into. Comfortable, relaxing. There are racks and racks and racks upon racks of cloth, various fabrics, and some pre-tailored clothes. There's quite a selection of cloaks. There's almost like kimonos kind of style. There's frilled shirts. Really, it's just a variety of quite everything stocked up. You see, there's some very plain shirts with just like a rope tie at the top. Um, Simple, comfortable, loose fitting, things like that.
Paxxus will mage hand out his notebook as he walks through those racks, taking in the sights. And if I'm not mistaken, the attire of the nobles or those that populated the bar after dark had more or less a well, they had the big pauldron, the over it, as well as almost like vests and petticoats.
Mhm.
And that's kind of the style that I see on display, other than the kimonos and other types of, I guess, outerwear.
Um, you said you're looking for the capes of Pauldron, the Pauldron capes.
No,
Pauldron.
I'm just looking for the general style of what is offered
Oh, okay. I'm
versus
sorry.
what I've seen.
Okay. So the only thing that's offered that you've seen, is more of what the um, Bert and Davy were kind of wearing, like the casual, loose fitting, uh, rope tied tops. It's kind of like a V neck with the rope at the center to kind of close it up if you need to. Um, and some of the frilly, like, poofed shirts, a little bit fancier, um, but not too, like, established. It's not like a noble exclusive. You can kind of tell. It's more of just like hey, I'm going out for the night type thing. Um, those are the only ones that are close. There's similar fabrics. There's similar, um, like the cloaks have that same kind of form to the capaldrons, capaldrons. Oh, I'll find a word for it. Don't worry. Um, that you've seen some of the nobles wearing. Um, but that's about it. Um, Essentially, what's offered is more of like,
Your working man's.
yeah, working men and tourists, and it's still even upper class. Like, it's nice clothes and fabrics and things like that. But like, it's kind of gives you the feel that the nobles get their things exclusively for them, like completely custom tailored for them.
I'm going to. Is there a patron that I see?
There's not. It seems that the entirety of this place is empty. As you're walking around on the front desk or back desk, I guess you call it, there's a little jar with a piece of parchment next to it. It says, "Take what you wish. Each piece is 2 silver."
down and founds me. I'm going to put the gold on the desk, and then look back at anybody else who else is in here. This is absolute insanity. Did you find out anything about these people?
Hence the library.
Yep, that's
I
why we're going to the
did find out.
library.
I did find out a little something.
Please, I am all ears.
Can I look around, like, make sure there's no one around before I tell them?
Sure. Go ahead and give me a passive perception check.
Okay. 14.
14. As far as you're aware, there's no one around.
So, before we left the bar, I noticed that Bert was not eating the money anymore. And I asked him if he had lost his appetite, and he looked worried and said he wasn't hungry because he ate so much of his stew.
Well,
I decided to leave it where it was and not draw any attention to him.
how was
But
his body language reading?
he looked concerned. He looked around as if he could get caught.
Perhaps he's nervous with the nobles.
That's my guess. And maybe them ingesting it helps in some way. I'm not sure. Too hard to ask any more questions than that.
Well, that's something that we perhaps can research at the library. We can certainly try.
It's better than nothing to go on.
Yes. And real quick, before we continue, someone did buy a beatbox. Go ahead,
Yes,
Miguel.
they did.
Jesus Christ.
Tee hee 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 hee.
Oh yeah, baby.
Well, first off, pink cheese and green goose, I believe, is what you wanted us to say, follower. So there you go. And
Beatbox.
I love that. I love that his Abbott
part two.
shoulders were moving. That was great.
Where's the rest of it?
that's all for now.
That's all, folks.
All for now. Dip, 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 dip.
Okay.
Yeah, so just real quick, thank you so much, Kantukano. I hope I said that right. And Sleepy Elfie. Much appreciated. We love you. All right, now back to it.
Are there hats in here?
There's a couple hats. There's about 13 hats.
Any in the pirate captain fashion?
There are a couple that are wide brimmed. One has a very large feather hanging out the back, with like that kind of up the brim on the side, flipped up.
I'll take the one with the feather and look to Paxxus. The letter said 2 silver, right? So you'll cover your captain's expenses.
Surely.
I'm starting to
I'm
like
looking for
this
something
one.
in particular.
Of course, if I have to pay for my own, no worries.
I don't think I'm buying 5 articles of clothing. DM, I'm looking for.
Mhm.
I'm looking for a cloak.
Okay.
Something burgundy.
Burgundy. A burgundy cloak. I mean, on the rack, there's quite a variety. You see, it's almost like a rainbow palette of all these different fabrics, and then you find the burgundy section. There's one that's kind of like wool like. There's one that's kind of burlap esque. Um, there's thick ones. There's thin, silky ones. There's quite a variety. None of them are particularly ornate, but they are very well crafted.
Um, overcoat. They have something in the side, like what I'm thinking of is like, have you ever seen like the classic colonial page boy look
Yeah.
with the coats, the long tails and everything?
Okay. Yeah. 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 So it's like the dual tail, um, kind of like down to halfway to your calves, essentially, and then
Mm,
like kind of like a flying V almost comes up and then back up.
yep, all with the burgundy cloak thrown over one shoulder.
Okay. Yeah. Simple enough. That's all you like.
And a pair of gloves because I'm fucking freezing.
Fair enough. Yeah. There's plenty of gloves. Everything here is like beautifully, neatly stacked and sorted by color, and every color has their variety of fabrics. So there are wool gloves. There's those thin gloves. There's some leather gloves. Um, there's gloves with like fur lining on the inside. So whichever you
Sorry, I was
like.
muted. Pax was gonna go for straight fur lined mittens.
Okay. Any particular
Um,
color or
I would go with like a charcoal gray to offset the
yeah, I'm into it.
repertoire.
I'm
Um,
into it.
at one point, as Pax is literally going from one side of this play, this warehouse, I guess you would say, to the other, you'd catch him braiding his hair with another invisible force to being the helping hand. Um, if I'm not mistaken, Levy, you have a
Yes.
high passive.
14.
Uh, and Calaia, what was yours be?
Mine's 14 as well.
You would both see. Um, this device attached to the base of his neck, where the neck meets shoulders.
Are you turning into an android, Paxxus?
Max looks up at you and places the cloak up a little bit. No, just few improvements. Um, Ludwin was helping me out.
Is that a form of biotech?
Strange term, but
Well, it's a
not
thing
on
that.
the less on the nose.
Yes, well, I know Ludwin is quite proficient with mixing technology and biology.
I would appreciate it if we kept it within the group. Should we meet anyone else, I would like them to find out before. And no,
Your secret is safe with me.
Pax gives you a smirk and continues to shop and braiding. Oh, um, red ribbon in his hair as well. Money well spent. Clothes maketh man.
Okay, simple enough. So you got 4 items, I believe, correct, Pax?
Including a hat.
Yes. I just wanted you to say it. So
Much obliged there,
um,
Pax.
Never speak of this again. You did
so that'd
not
be
get
one.
that thing from me.
That would be 1 gold. Um, if you wish to pay for it. I mean, as far as you're aware,
That
there's
was
nobody there.
that was actually the first thing Pax did. Is after reading it, he put a thing of gold down, and it's just like, this town's crazy.
Okay, perfect.
With
Alright.
that, if I'm not mistaken, I took a rainbow feather from the island. I kept one.
Yes, I believe so.
So, with that, I will offer it to the captain for his hat. And you say that no one ever came back from that island? Perhaps it'll up a little something on your hat.
Oh, that's a fine idea, indeed. Maybe it will help him make a name for our crew and our ship.
I believe the bones around the ship do that in itself, but this may help us off of the ship at least.
She's not wrong.
No, she isn't. I'll gladly take the feather and tuck it away for now and asphyxiate it later on.
Okay, simple enough. So you exit the shop and going from that dim light to the bright light that's outside, it takes a moment to adjust, but it's quiet.
I begin walking towards the library, very cautious of my surroundings, always looking around corners, alleyways.
Okay, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay. $15.
15. Okay. As you're looking around, you just notice the workers going on their workday. Nothing in particular. You get closer to the library, and you notice that same symbol etched into the outside on the door.
Without speaking a word, I make a hand motion towards everybody else, a small wave, and I wave my hand, not using a particular finger, towards the door.
So they are it's a heavy stone door and it's stone and wood, and the symbol is, if you weren't looking for it, you wouldn't have noticed it. It's at the top of the door at center mass. So essentially, when you open it, it kind of splits the symbol in half, but it is outlined in like a light gold, bronzy color, and it blends in enough with the stone and the wood to make it kind of tough to miss. I mean, tough to see without looking for it.
Okay. I open the doors and walk inside. I close my eyes for a few seconds, presuming there's going to be dimmer light in here as there has been in everywhere else. So as I do open the doors, I close my eyes for just a second and open them again.
You hear the chattering of Paxxus' teeth.
As you open them, you notice that there's no light in here. It is darkness surrounding you. Close the doors behind you, your vision turns to grayscale. It's simple enough to see in here for those of you that have dark vision.
I think we all do.
Yeah, probably.
I see in red.
You do. So you have
Vision.
red vision. But yeah, so it all shifts to your dark vision, and then like that lens over your eyes just clicks on, and you notice a figure sitting behind a desk. You look around, and there's shelves and shelves, shelves of books, tightly packed. Like each small little book alleyway between the shelves is enough to kind of just slide through sideways, and it's almost like you have to know what you're looking for. And there's a long table in the center. These shelves extend pretty much to the backs of these seats. Not much room to walk around. And you get closer over to the counter, and you notice that there's two stairways. One in the far right corner, leading up, and then there's a spiral staircase leading down on the other side.
I walk in, give a slight nod to the person behind the counter, and I'll start with the top and work my way down. I start walking up the spiral staircase, still with my cautious demeanor as I go, and I'm looking for any books that might have this symbol on them to start with. Otherwise, any perhaps religious texts that deal with rising or setting suns.
Okay. Go ahead and give me 2 checks. I'm going to need a religion and investigation.
Religion is a 6. Investigation. Where did that go? Is a 9.
Okay. So it takes you a little while. Oh, what are you going to say?
I said nice because the first roll was a 6, the other one was a 9.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
So it takes you a decent amount of time to kind of scour through everything, but eventually you do find a large tome with this symbol on it, and it on the cover is just the symbol. It's a black leather-bound book. Pretty old. So as you scour through it, the second page in says, "In dedication of Queen Meralda."
And I presume everyone's with me?
I mean, I would assume so, unless
Yep.
you guys have
Yeah.
other
I have
comments.
no idea what you're trying to research.
Okay.
All I was gonna do is the person that was sitting there, do they have like the same blue eyes? Do they look in the same like kind of condition as the townsfolk or as the higher ups?
You can't really make out details
Okay.
in the darkness. Yeah, not details like that. It's all grayscale. You can't tell the color of the eyes. You can't
Okay.
really tell the skin tone or anything like that. No.
As I
I was
pull,
going to, as she's doing her thing, be next to her, but keeping an eye out for any books about Escante.
Okay, good to know.
as I pull this tome out, I look at the cover, and I looked back to the rest and say, "It seems we've found what we're looking for." And I sit down.
What are we looking for?
Any signs, anything that has to do with what may be happening here.
Possibly a chance to liberate the town.
I'm going to look up anything about Phyrexians.
Okay, good to know. So I'll hop to you guys, but we'll finish with Levi first.
Oh, I'm just going to sit down with this tome and begin reading.
Okay. Do you want me to send you the information or?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Or you can just tell me if you want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, as you begin to read, this is, it gives the history of the Legion of Dusk. It's a nation originally from the continent of Torzon.
Can you spell that?
Torrezon. Okay. You read that there are different classes and I guess you could say nobility rankings or hierarchy. They have their own paladins. They have priests. This is essentially a unification of church or religion and government, you can say. You learn that the Legion of Dusk came to the mainland of Ixalan, hunting for the immortal sun. Okay. And you also find, excuse me, that the nobles have been turned into vampires in the rite of redemption. There are humans within the ranks of the Legion of Dusk. And you also learn that the vampires of the Legion regularly undertake what's known as the Blood Fast. They starve themselves for an extended period of time. And when it's over, they enter a state. Ooh,
Sorry, I'm writing as fast as
No.
I can.
it's okay. I love that you're taking notes. It's fine.
Okay, vampires do a blood fast.
When the fast is over, they enter a state known as the rapture, where they revert to an animalistic trance and attack anything in sight.
Fun. Does it? Am I able to find anything on when they do these blood fasts? What triggers them?
Yes. So they do blood fast twice a year, so essentially with the changing of seasons from warm to cold weathers and cold to warm. The fast lasts about a month. And the rapture lasts a week. Okay. And then you learn about the paladins, the different orders of them, of the priests, and learn about their saints or paragons, known as the venerables, and just a general history of the Legion of Dusk. And you learn there are 4 main settlements in Queens Bay, which is where you currently are. Okay. Adanto was their first and strongest fort. Lior is known as the Edge of Exile. Duran, where you are.
Okay, Leon, like L-E.
Lior.
Leor. Okay.
Leor.
Yep.
The Edge of Exile.
Okay. Hold on.
Duran.
Hold on.
Yep.
I have to spell exile. It took a second. Duran, yeah.
The Fort of Faith.
Okay.
And then Conqueror's Foothold as their first settlement on the mainland.
Okay. Hold on. Okay.
For a long time, these forts were deserted, but it seems they've begun to settle in again. Collectively, this area for them is known as Miraldanor.
Can you spell? Yeah.
M-I-R
M-I-R
A-L-D.
A-L-D. Sorry, you're a little glitchy right now.
O.
Sorry, you're glitching.
You're quite robotic, DM.
Yeah. Okay.
A-N-O-R.
A-N-O-R. Thank you.
Get my Discord keeps dropping to red.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. And you learned like quite a bit of information. I'll send you the rest of the information.
Okay.
So just for the sake of time.
Yep.
Okay. So that being said, Flicker, go ahead and give me an investigation check, please. And Actually, a history check. So, investigation and history, please.
You got it. Investigation is a 10.
Okay.
And history is, that's cocked, an 8.
Okay. So it takes you a while also, but you do find 2 books on Escanta. One of them is blue bound, and it's like this almost the outside, and the other one is gold, entirely made of solid gold.
Seems we've hit the jackpot.
And I just noticing the time, so for the sake of time, information as well that you would get.
Of course, by all means.
Um, or if you'd like, we can RP a little bit next week on it. But yeah, just coming up on the brink of it. So that being said, Pax, go ahead and give me a nature and investigation.
Nature and investigation, you say? Nature's a 13. Investigation is a 17.
Okay. As if you've been here before, you find this book made of flesh. Blackened flesh.
Mm-hmm.
And it was clearly deliberately designed to just be easy to find like this for anyone that needs information on the recent threat. It's a very small book. It's about pocket size. There's 30 pages in it, and you get a general gist of what has been learned over the past several years. And I'll be happy to give you that information as well.
You got it.
So, is there anything anyone would like to do at this time?
Read my book.
Okay. All right. So,
With
okay.
my passive, if I saw the gold book flicker took out, I would like to, just while he's reading it, kind of get on the other side of it and look at the gold, see if anything is familiar about the gold to me, because that's what would stand out to me.
Okay. As you simple enough as you inspect it, it's nothing familiar, except for the fact that it is pure gold. Like pure gold. No refining except shaping. Each page is solid, very heavy. As the pages are turned, you can hear the clink. But beyond that, no familiarity. It's just gold. Very shiny gold.
Calea's eyes are probably the size. Calea's eyes are like the size of saucers looking at it.
Just so Sorry, I lost my voice for a second. Just while I'm going through the books, I want to make note if anyone else enters the library throughout the time frame.
Okay. Nobody does. You spend about a good 2 to 3 hours. The doors, you never hear the grinding of the stone. You never hear any other footsteps besides your comrades. No movement, no shuffling.
Perfect.
Something else I would like to research after I've completed scanning this book. Unless there was anything in this book about this, but the relationship that the Legion of Dusk may have with Fae and what may have caused these blue eyes. So I'll be searching the Fae book first for answers on that if I don't find anything in this tome.
Okay. There's a little bit like there's a chapter on their experience with the Fae, which I'll send you that information because but yeah, there, you find a chapter in there. But I will say that there is no connection in that chapter with blue eyes
Okay.
or anything that you guys have experienced thus far.
And coin eating?
Nope.
Now, these humans that work for them, would they possibly be described as like thralls?
In this book, they do take on some thralls occasionally, but
Hmm.
overall, the humans are there voluntarily. They believe in the religious aspect of it. They believe in the queen. They believe in the cause of this, and they believe in the immortal sun.
Okay.
So they joined of their own will, and some seek to become vampires. Others just want to do their duty.
Okay. Noted.
Okay. So, that being said, it is 11 o'clock. So we will be cutting it here. Apologies again, everyone, for the late start. But super excited because this ran pretty smoothly with our new little avatars. I'm really excited for the future with these. Can't wait to see PAX once we get everything up and working. Good to go. Thank you guys so much for bearing with us and joining, and thank you, Kantukano and Sleepy Elfie or Sleppy Elfie, one of the two. I apologize if I said either of your names wrong, but follows. Super excited for you to join the family. So that being said, any announcements?
Yes. Real
I want
quick.
to say thank you to our tech witch for being badass.
Thanks. I'd also like to give a shout out to Sirenscape. Thank you for your awesome sounds. And vroid Studio is what we use to create these avatars, and it's so much fun to use. Vseeface for broadcasting these avatars. Appreciate all of you.
Yes. Yes.
Flicker
Thank you
will
guys.
get a makeover in the future. This just a quick throw together.
Yes, I'm gonna be working on DM as well. But yeah, it was like it's a nice test run.
Yeah,
I'm excited to mess with it a little more, and
it ran
it
smoother
was
than I thought.
yeah, it was really fun to make the characters too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but oh yes, so I'm excited for it, but starting Saturday, I will be doing a 30-day challenge to become Captain America. I will be making short YouTube videos in shape and just like my workouts and just the overall getting there. And it's for me for living a healthier lifestyle because I feel I've been slacking a little bit, and anyone else out there that struggles going to the gym or getting motivated and things like that, it'll cover things you could do at home if either you're embarrassed or don't have access to a gym or just feel uncomfortable. I want to bring the community together a little bit more, and I want to see everybody be healthy and live long lives. If that's your goal, and yeah, it's a personal goal for me, and I'd love for you guys to join me on the journey. So, it's gonna be YouTube videos. So be sure to like and subscribe to YouTube. Hit the notification bell. If you haven't already, give us a follow here, and you'll get all the notifications. Join our Discord, our Facebook. Um, yeah, and anything you'd like to see more of, or any ideas that you guys, as the nerds community, want to see, just we're more than happy to bring those ideas to fruition if we can. Also, for our charity event, date is still to be determined. Just need a couple more confirmations, and yeah, but it should be end of the month, beginning of February, and yeah, stay tuned on our Facebook and our event calendar here to get the update on that, on what charity we're going to be doing and everything like that.
It's
But yeah,
it's still an 8-hour session, yes?
yeah, it's going to be an 8-hour session, um, likely on a Sunday or Saturday. Um, Definitely a weekend. Um, but yeah, we'll figure that out. But yeah, 8-hour session. There will be a few breaks, of course. Don't worry. It's not going to be straight at 8 hours, although maybe. But yeah, every
How long can the
100%
party
of the
go without a tea
donations.
break?
Yeah, yeah, right. 100% of donations and things like that will be going to the charity. Um, and maybe we'll even come up with some challenges, for certain donation amounts or whatever the case, or something. We'll figure out something. There's a lot going through my head for it. I'm actually really excited to do it. But anyway, I'm dragging on. Um, that being said, thank you so much. We love you all. And as always, stay natural, you nerds.
Stay natural, you nerds.
Stay natural,
Stay
you nerds.
natural, you nerds.
You nerds.